Hello, hello, and welcome back to the rabbit hole. We have not had a chance to just chat and catch up on things in such a long time that let's just do it today. Today is such a beautiful day to do just that. I have some new Purito products I bought that I would like to try. I made an order in the BK Beauty anniversary sale, so we have some brushes to try. And then finally, I got some PR from the beautiful brand Flower Nose. I've been trying these out for a while, so I have some thoughts on them. And because I feel like I have a lot to talk about, what I'm gonna do is have a bit of a chat in the beginning of this video, and if you are just here for reviews, we're gonna go back to the style where you can click in the description box below and find those reviews. So feel free to use those timestamps and affiliate links if you would like to. Now, I do want to talk about sunscreen before we get into our Get Ready With Me today. In my most recent empties, we had an obnoxious amount of sunscreen, and I did repurchase the Purito Daily Soft Touch Sunscreen. This is not the fastest sunscreen to apply, but I feel like it's such a good makeup base. It's got that kind of heavier feel that you sometimes want in a primer, while also being SPF 50+, PA4+, so I did already apply this. I feel like a lot of people are confused about wearing sunscreen and makeup together, so what I want to do in this first part of the video is be responsible with that, show you how I do this in a way where I maintain a film across my skin with my sunscreen. Remember, that's the goal. You need to form an even film and keep that even film, and that's why it's recommended to reapply your sunscreen every 2 hours. You may not actually need to reapply every 2 hours on the dot, but you probably need to reapply because your skin moves around and you might disrupt that film. So what I like to do is finish up my skincare routine, wait about 5-10 minutes, put my sunscreen on, and wait 5 to 10 more minutes before I apply something like foundation, blush, etc. And it turns out that's a good period of time to apply some eye makeup, so that's what we're doing, starting with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I just kind of ended up defaulting back to this eye primer. It's expensive, but I've never paid more than 50% off. This is one of those products that it is always in some kind of a sale. So getting into makeup, we're starting with the Midsummer Fairy Tales palette in 03 Fairy Melody. I'm gonna have some close-ups that I had taken in the past of these because now I've gone and dipped into these palettes, so I've kind of ruined the embossing, but they really do arrive looking absolutely stunning. I see why some people say they struggle with dipping their brush into these, but as you're gonna see at the end of the video, I do feel like Flower Nose might be worth it. It might be worth it. We'll talk all about that. In a video where I'm going to be talking about influencers and trust in influencers, believe me, I certainly have more to say about the Flower Nose products. But I want to start this video with something unrelated to what we're going to talk about through the rest of the video. I really want to take a quick moment and say thank you to all of you. It's been a very difficult summer over here. I've briefly talked about this kind of more at the end of videos because my channel isn't a lifestyle channel. It's really about skincare and beauty products and deals. So I do feel pretty bad for anybody who found the channel in, I don't know, late May, early June. You would have subscribed to a channel that was putting out 3 videos a week that was, I don't know, fairly an optimistic channel, a bit of an upbeat channel. And now it's been a lot harder to be my usual happy self, and you know, we had to switch to 2 videos a week. Do you know when it really hit me? I was editing my Drunk Elephant video, and there was a part of that video that I was really looking forward to. I had a planned joke. Granted, I feel like humor is better when it's off the cuff, but I had a plan. I thought it was going to be so funny. It was the part of that video where I compared the bright colors to, what was it, denture cleanser. I was trying to be lighthearted about how just because something has bright colors doesn't mean that it is marketing to children, but wow, when I was editing that, I realized how much I had completely lost the plot. That part of the video isn't funny at all. I just seem so angry, so angry. And ever since that moment where I was sitting there editing this, because you know I edit all of my videos, I realized I really appreciate the people who understand what I'm going through and are patient with me in this time. I appreciate you all so much. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. As somebody who very, very much does appreciate all of my subscribers, I'm somebody who I want to give you quality content to watch here on the channel. That's why I made the decision to drop to 2 videos a week. But something else has been on my mind since both that realization as well as this tremendous uptick I've had in comments that seem to be questioning my honesty. My comment section has changed so much in the last couple of months that I do not check the comments on old videos anymore. I used to do it. Now, for my mental health, I can't do it. It's so mean and also incorrect. And to break down what I mean, I have had so many accusations of people saying that I've started using filters, that I have Botox, that I have fillers. I'm sorry, it's so hard for me not to laugh at that because I just feel like it's so obvious that I have not invested money into those kind of things. I just feel like it's so obvious because, drat. I don't want to tell you about my biggest insecurity, but also I feel like at least some of you have noticed it, so let's put all the cards on the table. I would fix my teeth way before I get Botox, fillers. But also, yeah, filters. Who has the time for that? The point of this channel is to share. It's not to lie and deceive. So I honestly feel like in the midst of all this stuff that's been going on in my life, I've also kind of had to try to figure out what was going on with my channel. I feel like I've never really had this kind of level of accusations like this before, so what the heck changed? And then I hit 50,000 subscribers. By the way, I hit that while I was at the dentist. I'm at the dentist all the time. I have a lot of teeth problems. Like I said, if there's anything I could cosmetically fix, it would be my teeth, but I've already... This smile is somehow... Ooh, let me think. How much have I spent on these teeth? 5K, 4K, 3K, probably about 15 grand. This is probably about 15 grand, not to improve the physical appearance of my teeth, but to, you know, make them not be broken. I'll never forget how it all started either. I was 18 years old. I had just had my birthday, and I woke up one morning, went to the mirror, and it looked like I had just a golf ball protruding from my face. It was so scary. It was so scary. It was an abscessed tooth. Happy adulthood to me, and way to start my life with just a ton of debt. I do like to use my finger to apply the shimmers from Flower Nose. For as much as I'm trying to keep this a really simple look, I am absolutely throwing in other products, so I'll make sure to talk about them in the review section as well. For now, we're moving on to this Purito. This is the only first impression in this whole video. The Wonder Relief Centella BB Cushion. I feel so confused by this being out for a while, and yet I feel like nobody's talking about it. What is going on? Now I remember why I kind of stopped using Purito's BB cream. I used to buy or at least I had bought the cream in the tube. It's a little gray, and it's funny because I am also a little gray. I'm a bit desaturated, but this is almost really gray. I'm gonna try to work with it, but yes, I immediately remembered. Back to our conversation, the main thing that changed is I hit 50,000 subscribers. And I don't think 50,000 is a magical number. I think it had been building up. But I do think that people view a channel that has 48,000 subscribers differently from how they view a channel that has 600 subscribers. And I do feel like it gets into some of what I don't particularly like. You know, it's so funny. In real life, I don't really tell people about my channel because when I do, they get kind of funny about it. This is a channel size that it's not considered a success, especially for as long as I've had this channel. But like I told you all in my video where I talked about, you know, success on YouTube, I don't think that success is based on whether you do or don't end up with 1 million subscribers. I think it's about, but did you enjoy the process? Did you share? See, like it or not, I think that people form opinions about you and your relationship to social media based on the number of followers you have, not based on what you do, but based on how many people are following you. For really small accounts, it's a hobby, and nobody is judging it because it's a hobby. Something strange happens in the, I don't know, 10 to 30,000 range where people suddenly start thinking that you might be trying to make it big. This is the judgment zone. And I thought that, once I kind of got past it, I thought, well, maybe it'll be easier. No, because now I'm in a new kind of judgment zone. This is the judgment zone where people assume that I don't care about my viewers anymore. And I'm baffled by it. I'm baffled by this because realistically, tell me if I'm wrong, but shouldn't it be the case that the most successful YouTubers should care the most about their subscribers? That's why they have so many, because they do care. Moving on to this Flower Nose Velvet Embossed Blush in the shade 02 Dreaming Butterfly. And I'm also using their brush with it. I already picked up the color because I got too excited, but just so you all know, I have bought from this brand before. This was from the Swan Lake collection. You can see it's a different shape brush. I actually like this one a lot more. Flower Nose also included their Little Angel Collection embossed highlighter. This is the shade L02 Paradise Lost, and I'll go off more in the review section, but I'm super glad they included this. This is the collection before the Midsummer Fairy Tales collection. I am so grateful that it is hard pressed, so I'm not immediately destroying the embossing on this one. So, all of this has really forced me to analyze, why are people suddenly distrusting? What is going on? And I think that I have to take a step back. I have to remember what it was like for me many years ago when I bought products because the channels that I watch recommended them. I got them in and I went, what is this nonsense? This is such a garbage product. I remember this so well. I got this product in and I hated it. And I thought, you know what? People want honesty in reviews, so I'm going to be honest. We are going to go completely no filter in terms of language, and I just came on my channel and I said, this product sucks. Do you know that in my comment section, I had a lot of people who were very frustrated with me saying, I love this product, what are you talking about? And I learned then and there the reality of how different our experiences can be with products. Of course they can be different, but there's nothing quite like, having a lot of angry people at you telling you that what you thought was going to be this great moment of truth will prevail, just completely failing because other people are saying, well, that's not my truth at all. Y'all remember the My Truth videos? Oh, some of you do. We're on the lip product step over here. I have got to tell you what just happened. Have you ever been on the hunt for the perfect lip liner? Look at this. Look at this hunt. Oh my gosh, I finally got it. It is the Revlon Blush. That's the lip liner we're going to use today with the Flower Nose Midnight Fairy Tales. For some reason, I want to call this collection something else. Midnight Summer? I don't know. Midnight Fairy Tales just feels like it's almost the right name, but isn't, and yet it is the right name. I digress. This is G06 Bluebell. And we're coming to the end of this video, so I want to wrap up all of my thoughts. I think I just want to say how very odd it feels to be on somewhat, I'm still a small creator, but to somewhat be on the other side of the "are influencers being honest" conversation. Because really, when I look back, I was actually wrong to come on my camera and say a product sucked. I hadn't put enough thought into it. If I'd put thought into it, I could have realized that maybe if I had a different skin type, it might have gone differently for me. Maybe if I used it a little bit differently, it might have gone differently for me. I think that people believe they want to follow an honest reviewer, but really, you want to follow somebody who is going to really think about all angles of a product and how it can be used. So anyway, I'm done with this look. We're ready for the reviews. Let's see if I can think about things from all angles, huh? feel like I really set myself up for, we better do some quality reviews here. I still feel like first impressions are the hardest to review. You can't really review a first impression, so let me just briefly say that as far as this Purito Wonder Relief Centella BB Cushion in the shade 21 Light Beige is concerned, I think I'm going to have a hard time reviewing this because of the shade. I've talked about this in past videos, but if you get a base product and it doesn't match your skin, it is so hard to see past the imperfect shade match. I am wearing a lot of powder to try and bring some life back into my skin, but this definitely looked gray on me. This is definitely one I will be following up on. You know, we'll do some kind of new skincare, so I'll tell you more then, but as it stands, I'm not very wowed. I do feel like it felt a little bit heavier than what I love in a cushion. See, what I love in these K-Beauty cushions, and J-Beauty has some also, is that the texture on so many of them feels really, really thin, and yet it does have good coverage. This one just didn't have that thinness to it. Maybe I need to play around with it, but again, at the moment, not as wowed as I hoped I would be. As for these BK brushes, I feel like I just got so excited when I started really looking into this brand and what they're doing, because they're one of very few brands that seems to be very proud to have a bit of a more mature audience. You know, the brush set that is what put them on the map, I feel, is the Angie Hot and Flashy collection. Talk about an influencer right here on YouTube. She is somebody that has a more mature skin type, and so she designed all of her brushes to be for more mature skin. Now, I will also tell you, I went back and forth in the sale. I thought about buying the full brush sets, but in the end, I bought individual brushes because I'm at this point now where I've been doing makeup for a long time. It's time for me to accept that I might know what I want, and it might actually be better for my wallet if I think that way, and it ended up being so true. You know, I almost bought the full Hot and Flashy set. I don't need another angled blush brush. These are really nice to have. I love my Sephora Pro angled blush brush. This is the 93. It actually came in one of the holiday sets. I love it. I use it all the time. I don't need another angled blush brush. So I'm trying to be more mindful of adding brushes to my collection that I can actually really see myself using. And that is exactly how I settled on the brushes that I ended up purchasing, and I'm so happy with them. They're perfect. This one in particular, I feel like this might be my favorite, the Nikki La Rose in 14. It's La, right? Do you know? I'm sorry, I gotta tell a tangent here. So Patrick Ta has a blush called She's So LA. Up until merely a few days ago, I was calling that She's So La, like, you know, she's so head in the clouds. She's so La. She's so LA. Okay. Anyway, sorry. It's such a tiny, tiny little brush, but it is absolutely perfect for under the eye powder application, for highlighter application. I've never had a brush that is this small and yet this big. What kind of terrible explanation was that? You know, this is kind of the shape of a lot of eyeshadow blending brushes, but bigger. Oh, it's so good. And then finally, the Flower Nose Midsummer Dreams? Midsummer Fairy Tales collection. So I reviewed Flower Nose a while ago on this channel. We still have the old box set here from the Swan Lake collection. I admit that was a beautiful collection, but I had to be honest then, and I have to be honest now about the strengths and weaknesses of this brand. So this was one of the blushes from the Swan Lake collection, and see, I like to have a little bit of pigment, and I feel like Flower Nose listened. Oh my goodness, look at the difference here. Old, new. I mean, we have absolutely witnessed Flower Nose saying, okay, we'll add a little bit more pigment into our blush, and it is gorgeous. It is also hard-pressed enough that I haven't immediately destroyed the gorgeous, gorgeous embossing on here. And in addition to that, oh my gosh, the highlighter. The highlighter is also utterly stunning. It's so interesting how this sits on your skin. I actually feel like this swatch is doing a really good job of conveying what I want it to. You see how it's not showing a lot of texture, but you definitely see a very pretty shine from it. So I'm gonna have to say, from these products that I used today, these are my top 2 picks. The blush and the highlighter. And I have to say, I wasn't that excited for the lip gloss. You know, it's lip gloss. We have way too many lip glosses on the market. It's just too many. I don't think everyone needs to run out and buy this per se, but I will admit, it is very exciting to actually find a little bit of a different color. You know, the fact that it took me so long to find a lip liner that matches, for once, we have a lip product that isn't just exactly what every brand out there has. It is scented, definitely know that. I think in the end, I will say I still like the Swan Lake versions of lip products more. This is personal preference though. This is 100% personal preference. I just really love the packaging on this collection. And I think ultimately, I just prefer this style to a gloss. Let me not forget, the blush brush is actually really nice. I think I do prefer this style to the one from the Swan Lake collection as well. Their mirrors are always stunning. I think it's just a matter of personal preference, which one you end up going with. I think I still do prefer the Swan Lake version. But I kind of feel like everyone should have a flower nose mirror. They're the prettiest mirrors I've ever seen. Just so everyone does know, this is kind of a plastic material. I feel like it might look like metal, but yeah, it's a plastic material. As for their eyeshadow, now this is kind of similar to what I've said in the past about Flower Nose, but I feel like they have this really soft and smooth eyeshadow formula, and while that sounds gorgeous, you have to keep something in mind. Because the shadows don't have a lot of texture, it is actually kind of hard to build in terms of layers. Meaning, you know, your base layer, then you might add a matte on top of that. Maybe you're gonna shade out a matte on top of that. This actually gets really hard to do with Flower Nose formula. So for me at least, I have to have a bit of a different approach going into their eyeshadow formulas, where I think about exactly what I want on a certain part of my eye and just kind of place it there. For example, in this exact look, I realized I wanted to use every one of these shades, but I hadn't used the gold yet. So I thought, oh, it's okay, I'll just put the gold on top of the green. And it just doesn't show up very well. So I feel like their formula can be a little tricky. You know, one thing about makeup is that as you use makeup more and more, you get more skilled. Practice makes perfect. And so I think that certain formulas can be a little more frustrating if you're new and you haven't encountered a situation like this. You know, what do you do if your eyeshadow's not building on top of itself? Well, you just have to think differently going into it, but that's the kind of thing that, you know, a beginner might struggle a little more with. I do think you can work with the formula if you really want to. That said, I do think there are formulas that are easier to work with. Nonetheless, does Flower Nose have the prettiest packaging out there? I kind of feel like it's an objective yes. I don't think I've seen prettier packaging and embossing in combination. They're really a very pretty brand. I have a few more notes to end this video on. I do want to let you all know I signed up to be an affiliate with the Flower Nose website. If you would like a discount, you can get a 5% discount. And here's the thing. I'm pretty loyal to Yesstyle. I bought all of my Flower Nose on Yesstyle in the past. Unfortunately, when I bought Flower Nose, they had all of the box sets available. It seems those are no longer on Yesstyle. So if you do find you want one of their really cute little sets, you have to go to flowernose.co. That's where to go for the sets, and they're also running a special up until I believe the 15th. I'll have this information in the description box below, where you can get up to 7 freebies with your purchase. So I think it might, in the end, even out. I've talked a lot about Yesstyle. With Yesstyle, I like to wait for a 15% off, combine that with a rewards code. But I think with Flower Nose, you can get the discounted box sets and a lot of freebies. If you would like to see what else is on my face, I will include that in the description box below as well, and my friends. With that, we have come to the end of today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy today's video, and I will See you all next time.